Crazy Reddit Stories. Part 1. The Perfect Roommate. When I first moved into my apartment, I found a roommate on Craigslist. I know it sounds risky, but it actually worked out perfectly at first. He was polite, kept to himself, paid rent on time, everything you'd want in a roommate. We didn't talk much, but that was fine by me. It was like he wasn't even there most of the time, just the way I liked it. Then one day, out of nowhere, he told me he was moving out. No explanation, just said he needed to go. I was caught off guard, but people come and go, so I didn't think much of it. When I came home from work the next day, he was gone. His room was completely empty, and he had left me a note on the kitchen counter. It read, "I've been hiding in plain sight for too long. Sorry for the inconvenience." I had no idea what that meant. I thought maybe it was some weird inside joke I wasn't getting. Fast forward a few weeks, and I stumbled across a news article with his face plastered all over it. Apparently, my perfect roommate had been a fugitive for years, wanted for multiple counts of fraud and identity theft. He'd been living under a false name the whole time we were roommates. I still can't shake the feeling that he had been using my place as a safe hideout, right under my nose. Crazy Reddit Stories. Part 2. The Online Friend. During the pandemic, like most people, I was spending a lot of time online. That's when I met Emily on a forum. We instantly clicked, same taste in music, books, everything. Over the months, we became inseparable, well, digitally. We'd chat almost every day. It felt like I had known her forever. One day, she just stopped replying. I messaged her multiple times, no response. At first, I thought she was just busy, but after a few weeks, I started to get worried. Something didn't feel right. I decided to dig deeper, trying to find her on other platforms. That's when I came across a news article that mentioned her name. My heart dropped when I saw her photo. The article was from years ago, about a girl who had gone missing, Emily. She had been missing for over 5 years. I didn't know what to think. Was this someone pretending to be her? Or worse, could it have actually been her reaching out all this time, and now something terrible had happened again? I'll never know, but to this day, I can't shake the feeling that whoever I was talking to wasn't who they claimed to be. And if it was Emily, what happened to her? Crazy Reddit Stories Part 3. The Generous Stranger. It was a normal day at the grocery store when I saw an older man struggling to pay for his groceries. He seemed flustered and embarrassed, so I stepped in and paid for them. It wasn't much, but he was beyond grateful. He asked for my name and address, insisting he wanted to repay me. I tried to decline, but he was persistent. Eventually, I gave in, thinking nothing would come of it. A few weeks later, I received a package in the mail. Inside was an old-looking key, attached to a note that said, "You'll need this soon." It felt strange. I didn't know what to make of it. I didn't own anything that needed a key like this, so I tucked it away and forgot about it. Fast forward a year, I got an unexpected letter informing me that I had inherited a house from a distant relative I barely knew. It was in the middle of nowhere, a property I had no idea existed. When I arrived to check out the place, it looked like it had been abandoned for years. On a whim, I brought the key with me. And wouldn't you know it, the key fit perfectly in the front door. I don't know how that old man knew about this house or why he gave me the key. But I do know that life hasn't been the same since I stepped inside that place. Crazy Reddit Stories Part 4. The Babysitter's Nightmare. I was babysitting this little boy for a family I'd worked for a few times. He was sweet but kept saying creepy things. Most of all, he kept mentioning a man standing in the corner of his room. I chalked it up to an overactive imagination. Kids say weird stuff, right? But the more he talked about it, the more uneasy I felt. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore and decided to check out his room. I looked around, didn't see anything unusual, until I noticed a strange seam in the closet wall. When I pressed on it, the wall gave way, revealing a hidden compartment. My heart dropped when I saw a small crawl space just big enough for a person to fit in. It was clear someone had been living there. There were blankets, empty food wrappers, and even a flashlight. I called the police, and they confirmed that someone had been living in the walls for weeks, maybe longer. The scariest part? They had no idea where the person went. They believe he ran off when I found the hiding spot. To this day, I wonder how long he had been watching the boy, and me, without anyone noticing. Crazy Reddit Stories. Part 5. The Lost Wallet. It was a wild night out with friends, and at some point, I lost my wallet. I was pretty drunk, so I couldn't remember exactly where I'd dropped it, but I retraced my steps, went back to the bar, asked around, no luck. I had written it off as gone forever. A week later, I came home to find a package waiting for me. Inside was my wallet, and everything was still there, my ID, my cards, even the cash. There was also a note that read, "Be more careful next time." It was strange, but I was just relieved to have it back. That's when I noticed something odd. There was a new credit card in my name inside the wallet, one I had never applied for. I called the bank to cancel it, but they told me it had already been activated and used. Several charges had been made, including a plane ticket to a city I had never even visited. I canceled the card, but to this day, I have no idea who took my wallet, or how they managed to activate a new card in my name so quickly. And why return it at all? Something about the whole situation just doesn't sit right with me.